MegaPodTastic. Good morning, MegaPodlings. It's Crazy Joe. Can everybody hear me? Oh. Hello. Hello.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh, hang on. I can't hear you. I'm gonna go with that for a sec. Try now.
Hang on.
Yep. I know what's going on.
Let me see.
I gotta change my audio settings. Where are they in Skype? Skype preferences. I gotta change my camera too. Video. Let's go with the Brio. That works better. Audio. I want my speakers to be the audio codec. That should be better.
Why is this not working?
Okay. I got ya.
I don't have you yet. Hang on. I'm working on it.
Wait,
Let's see.
hear me,
I can hear you, but I haven't added you to the stream.
Oh, gotcha.
Which I'm having some trouble doing.
Screen share.
Oh, I know what the problem is.
What are we talking about?
Huh?
What are we talking about? This is completely impulsive on my part.
I'm doing my Tuesday night live stream, Krazy After Dark.
Okay.
And I've been experimenting with some new stuff, and I'm not an expert at using it yet.
That's half the fun.
So my live stream's watching me talk, and they don't know who I'm talking to right now.
Are you streaming on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook? Where are you going?
YouTube. And here's the problem. I turned off the other day. I turned off the NDI, and now I can't figure out how to turn it back on again.
That's where you get to tell about something your company's working on. No, that's an NDA.
Yeah, you need this NDI plugin in order to bring the stream on here. And the other day we were recording something, and the NDI was on, and it was causing an echo. So I turned it off, and now I can't figure out how to turn it back on again. Let's see. Start recording. Will that do it?
Robot house.
No, that doesn't do it. It starts recording you, but it does not turn on the NDI. What the heck, man? Oh boy.
Hello, all you happy YouTube people.
Let's see, audio and video settings. Will that do it? Stay tuned, you live stream. This is going to be exciting once it works. All right. This is good though. This is good. I'm working out the bugs, and then there won't be any anymore. One. Audio, video. Here we go. Is this it? Is this it? No. Where is it? It's not there. All right, this might not work.
Darn darn. Should we switch to like Discord or
I think I need.
Zoom? I can send you a Zoom link. That'll help.
Oh, we could try that.
Da-da-da-da-da. All right, I'm gonna new meeting and invite,
All right, let's see.
invite, copy invitation, copy invite link. Now this would be rather ironic. I'm sending you a Zoom link through Skype.
All right, here we go. Zoom link. I'm clicking on it.
I'm
No,
not the right. Ooh, I'm on the right camera. How did that happen?
all that did was make you bigger.
I'm huge. Man.
Oh boy.
I've got an opener for the next topic is Trek. It was on a T-shirt that Donna and I were looking through Star Trek T-shirts tonight that said, "I'm considered something of a big deal in the holodeck." So tomorrow when we record, I'm gonna be. I mean, Clinton's gonna cut to me and he's gonna go, and also beaming in with us is Chuck Tomasi.
all
That'll be funny. Okay.
right, what the? There's got to be a way to turn that NDI on. I haven't gotten your.
Oh, okay.
I, I I saw your link. It came up, and when I double clicked it, it made the. Oh, here we go. Let me click on chat. Look, I can figure things out.
I have not joined my Zoom audio yet, so in case you join, we won't get
S-
bored.
Now you see, if you would just write a book called YouTube for Dummies, I'd be good.
Is it YouTube for dummies or is it OBS for dummies or? Oh,
I don't.
I'm
Oh,
admit and
oh, hello.
okay. And I didn't turn on my audio yet. I should check my audio settings. There you are.
All right.
Not on. I'm not seeing the camera on Zoom yet, but that's okay.
Oh, here we go. All right, let me try if that will allow me to
I think the video
source
quality
name.
is better.
No, it's not letting me. Okay, it says NDI source.
Do we want to drop Skype? It's up to you.
Maybe. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? No, that was terrible.
The aliens are signaling you.
I lost the. There it is. Yeah, this is not. This is. It says list is empty. List is. So how do? All right, let me try. Let me try something else. Let me see if I go to this and NDI. I downloaded it. I ran it, and it's like I turned the thing off and I screwed everything up. Applications. Where is it? Oh, okay, that's what it's called. Now, where? The thing's called. Jeez, I lost it again. It's called New Tech NDI. Jeez, you should be able to turn these things off and on without them just disappearing. All right, let's see.
NDI connect.
All right, everybody watching right now, I apologize. This is Greg says NDI source, then click the radio button to choose a new source. I know that, Greg, but the problem is I turned off NDI last week when we were recording the podcast, and now I can't find it again. It's just gone. Let me see. What about? Let me go to the internet. Turn NDI back on.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
MegaPodTastic. Next.
Oh, Muppet stuff. I'm like, oh, that's all right.
No, that's my friend. Yeah, that's my friend Chris. Next, go to your user profile picture. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There we go. Go to your user profile picture. But is this for Skype? Okay. Tap settings. Where are settings? In Skype settings. Oh, here we go. Um, Select calling, then advanced. Calling, advanced. Bam! There it is. All right. Well, they hide that well. All right, and now let's see if I can get this to come up here. I might.
Watching this game, we'll find out.
I think I'm gonna have to start the stream over. Is the only thing.
Oh,
Sure you want to remove? Yes, I want to remove. Yes.
the huge manatees.
One of these days I'll get it right. This is only like week 3 doing this, so here we go. NDI.
We've all been here when we started streaming.
Aha! Here we go.
Star Trek 5 or Star Trek Nemesis. Ow, Greg. Ow.
Here we go. Bam! You're on. You are on. Now the question is the sound on? And are we echoing?
Give me some feedback there, people. And I'm assuming we can put Zoom away.
Yeah. I think we got it now.
I'm not seeing it in the stream yet, but I know there's about a 20 to 30 second latency on there. Oh, we got you in the upper corner and you in the center. Oh, I'm there.
Hey,
I'll tell you if we're
Greg. Greg, you're
arranging.
Greg's Game Room. You are quality control. Can you hear?
Arranging.
There is an echo. All right, there is an echo. So let's
Check. 1, 2, 3. Sound is good. The Podcasting for Dummies podcast. The Breakpoint podcast. I'm going to put Zoom away so we don't kill our CPUs. There we go. All credit to T. It was a tag team effort. Oh, more so on Twitch. He's doing a lot more on Twitch at twitch.tv/the T Monster. I had some sound effects in there. I don't know where they went. Try. Well, are you looking for the bottom rung of the ladder, or you want us to actually choose between the lesser of two evils? What would God need with a starship anyway? Oh, yeah. says, "Oh, you're muted. Hold on, you're muted." Joe doesn't speak much when he's muted. This is,
All right.
I don't know if it's coming through or not. Can't hear Joe. I'm assuming they.
How about now? Oh, I know what I got to do. I know what I got to do. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me add a source.
Got to read the chat. We're working it. Hello from the dark side. I must have killed the Jedi. Okay.
Now we'll do.
They missed all your attempt to make Star Trek Five something.
Why did you go away? I lost you on one of them. Let's see.
Review Resident Evil for me.
I'm doing
Pretty active group.
Man, I'm doubling up here. I'm doubling up. I got either two of you or two of me.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Huh.
Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this? Oh, I know. Oh, I know. No, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Quality control 30 seconds later. Barney song, I love you. No. There's your answer. Ever seen the Shivering Truth series so far? No, I am actually after all these years, I am slowly going through the 4400 at light speed. I started last a little over a week ago, and I'm most of the way through season 3. And I know there's only 4 seasons, so hopefully I'll be done by the next
Show on Sunday night. Enjoying it. It echoes. We've actually been watching Manifest as it comes out, and there's a lot of similarities between Manifest and 4400. I'm not going to say. I was really interested to see how many Star Trek people are involved in 4400. Joe, just use Skype sources, says Greg.
I'm working on that. Oh, wait. Here's what we got to do. Okay. All right. I see my mistake.
Remember to hit the like button, folks. Wow, they'd be really kind to you. Just for that, I am hitting the like button. Woo! Oh, I forgot to turn on the notifications. There, now I can figure this out.
All right. Now, how's that?
I think I still
see 2 of me on the screen.
All right, give it.
Okay. No, frozen.
I think we're good now. Just give it a second to kick in.
Side. Asking for the quality control. Any echo? How's the echo, people? Now we're reversed.
Okay, Greg says he can hear both of us. All right. Let's see. Gary says, "Woohoo! 2 guests without a host." Oh boy.
That's never a good sign.
James Borland says, "Ever seen The Shivering Truth?" I have not seen The Shivering Truth, Sean. All right. Sean wants me to review Resident Alien, or as my 5-year-old calls it, President Alien. And have you been watching Resident Alien?
I've already.
What's that?
Is Kira 5 already?
Oh yes.
God, Joe.
I.
Just 2 last year.
Yeah, we didn't have a last year. Last year was canceled.
It screwed up my whole sense of timing. I used to be really good by saying, "Oh, that was 8 years ago," or "That was 4 years ago." I was talking to a buddy of mine saying, "Hey, we put that Spotify mega playlist together like 3 years ago, right?" He said, "No, it was 2015." We actually went on to Spotify and looked. It's like, "Look, all these songs were in 2015." I said, "That must be a lie."
2020 has screwed up my sense of timing.
Gary says now he can't hear the guests. Gary, can you hear?
No.
I'll get it one of these days. Look,
I'm ranting here.
And I'm getting texts. I'm getting, "You're muted, yeah." I'm not going to read that on the
Your
air.
sounds low and echoey, echoey.
Oh my God. It's
Give me
always
your
something.
API key. I'll start up Wirecast.
I think. All right. I am source one. Is that it? I am source one.
Now the guest is coming through.
How
Okay.
about
Met-
now?
met- Okay. Now, yeah, we're getting this 30-second delay thing. How we do? Anybody seen Animalisa? Animalisa. It's a great animated movie.
I've heard of it. But I haven't seen that.
I hear both, says Greg.
And do we sound echoey? Now Chester says we're good. All right, Chester. By the way, if you like what you're seeing, Super Chat Hippo is joining us today. So send a super chat, and Super Chat Hippo will sing to you. And actually, we gotta have you sing too, Chuck. You do karaoke.
I do karaoke on Saturday nights on my YouTube and Facebook.
I'm still waiting
Yeah.
for you to do Papa Don't Preach.
That's a toughie for me. That's a toughie. I'm also still working. After a year later, I started doing this in mid-April last year, and I've been doing it every Saturday night. Well, except when I had no surgery and my COVID recovery last Saturday. But
Yeah. Hope you're
I'm
feeling better. We had a COVID scare last week too.
200. Oh, it was my second shot, my second Fauci ouchie. It's almost.
Okay.
So that I was just building up those antibodies, and it takes its toll. But over 200 songs, 200 unique songs over those weekends, including all the 5 weeks of Christmas, whatever I did. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to be doing a karaoke for charity at our event. Now, people are going to be making requests of me off of my favorites list. So they're not going to be making random calls. But a year later, I'm still working on It's the End of the World as We Know It by REM. That is a tricky song because I didn't grow up with that. So I don't know the words like I do, like Rapper's Delight, just roll off my tongue.
I had a friend in high school who hated the Billy Joel song. We Didn't Start the Fire because he thought it was a complete ripoff
Oh,
of It's the End of the World as We Know It. He's like, Billy Joel ripped off REM. And
oh
I could
no,
see the
no.
similarity. Like, I don't know that they're exactly the same, but I mean, I don't know. They both got that kind of fast paced, you know.
It kind of is, but Billy Joel is going through a chronological events from, what was it, like 52 to 83 or 86 or something. Those were the events that he had witnessed. I mean, he's talking about Richard Nixon and Panmunjom and Ho Chi Minh and the Pepsi Cola Wars, that whole thing. End of the World as We Know It is more a random. Let's look at things that are happening. Yeah, he does mention Lenny Bruce in there, so it was just it starts with a hurricane. Like, okay, that's not anything specific. Whereas Billy is mentioning specific events. I'm disregarding that comment.
All right, am I still a little low? Joe, sing "It's the End of the World as We Know It" loudly. No, Greg, I'm not gonna.
I can sing it slowly.
I will break into songs here. I will do that. And Geriatric Geek is here. Good to see you, Geriatric Geek. All right. And Sean says, "Will I review the Orville, please?" Sean, I could review the Orville for you right now. Seth MacFarlane went to a dumpster behind Paramount, pulled out used Star Trek scripts, and then just changed the names. That's the Orville.
And he added some humor.
Yeah. But I mean, it's every episode has a correlation. Like they did the one where Wesley falls on the flowers. I mean, it wasn't flower. It was, but they go to the planet.
He was hanging on the statue or something.
Yeah, something like that. Then they did Ponfar. It's like, oh, he's got to go home, but he's got to go home to urinate. And it's like, they did the hollow addiction. It's like, okay, so you did Barkley, but now you made it like a porn analogy. I don't know. It's like every one has a correlating episode. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I just wish it was a little more original. So, are you excited? We should talk. Chuck here is one of the hosts of The Topic is Trek, and we got a lot of Star Trek news dumped on us
This is the second golden age of Star Trek. I mean, we thought the 80s and 90s were pretty hot stuff. This is better than that. I swear with with Discovery going into its third season, Picard going into its second season. We've already covered Lower Decks. We've got a Section 31. We've got a Strange New Worlds coming. Like, this is great. They just have to line them up. I mean, the nice thing about the 80s and 90s is you could sometimes catch 2 or even 3 episodes of a new show in a week. And now we're like being gradually fed this stuff. It's like, here's one episode, and when this season is done, we'll start the next thing. Now I know there's been some production issues, of course, with COVID and planning and whatnot, but this is getting real good stuff. I think I heard, what was it? Season 2 of Picard is August 12th. Don't quote me on that, but
that's Lower Decks. Lower Decks is August.
Yeah. Yes. We need to get Dr. Erin McDonald back on. She has injected herself into this as like the technical one of the technical resources for the show, but it's like 5 of these series she's kind of juggling at the same time. And we talked to her right before Lower Decks season 1 aired, and she says, of course I can't tell you anything, but yeah, and she didn't give us any spoilers, but now that season 1 is wrapped, we want to get some of the dirt on, what were the secrets behind it. Because I got to tell you, I was a holdout on Lower Decks. I thought the first couple episodes were rather forced. Like, okay, they're trying to make it funnier than it really is. But when they got to 8, 9, and 10 in that season, I was sold. I mean, they tied it all together, and I felt invested in those characters, and I can't wait for the second season.
I agree, and I'm really anxious for my buddy Jacob, who I do my podcast with. I'm really anxious for him to watch it because he's not a Star Trek fan, and but he's a big fan of what's his name, Justin Roiland, and he doesn't do anything with Lower Decks, but Mike McMahon, who created Lower Decks, he and Justin Roiland did a show called Solar Opposites for Hulu, and Mike McMahon worked on Rick and Morty, and he loves those shows. So he's very interested in checking out Lower Decks. And I'm really curious to hear how accessible Lower Decks is to someone who doesn't know Star Trek.
Yeah, it's a bit like Doctor Who was in that 2005 timeframe. It's like, it's come back, but how do you get the new people on board? And what was the episode with the gas mask? Are you my mummy? Some child. I can't remember the episode name, but that was the one that kind of tugged at the heartstrings and sold a lot of people on that series, and got a lot of people hooked. I think every series has some kind of episode like that goes, oh, you have to watch this, and then people are hooked. Ask Joe how Kermit the Frog's voice isn't the same anymore. Of course it's not. Jim Henson's dead.
That's what I keep saying.
What do you expect? Yeah, they're going to be close.
This has been a big topic. People keep bringing up the Henson, the new guy, Matt Vogel. People hate him, and they're like, oh, he doesn't sound like Kermit. And it's like, well, that's because he's a new guy.
You're going to get, I mean, you get that with Goofy from Disney. I mean, all these characters have gone through his transition. I like seeing that they're close. I mean, it's never going to be exactly the same, but some of these people are pretty darn close.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Did you have? I know. Mike did on Slice of Sci-Fi. But did you have Billy West on Technorama once?
We asked for him. We have not got him. I think we even saw him at DragonCon and said, hey, would you be willing to be on our show? And he kind of said yes, but we never really made contact after that. So there's a lot of people out there. Billy would be fun. Bob Camp was another one from Ren and Stimpy that we were looking at getting just from a storytelling. I'm sure Billy would do a lot of voice stuff for us, but that would be fun. There's a lot of wonderful people out there, creative people that we'd love to talk to. If you haven't heard it, Grandpa Choco's got a show called Under the Puppet.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you do it. Did you listen to the last one with oh darn it, Mike Quinn?
Not yet. I'm so behind on my podcast because I don't have a commute anymore. I work from home now, so I don't.
I have the same problem too. But Mike Quinn, it's like an hour and a half. He's the guy who played. I'm trying to remember how to pronounce the name. Nub Nine
Oh,
from Star
Return
Wars.
of the Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi, but he also comes back in the later movies. Same character. This guy started puppeteering like at the age of 13, and when he was a teenager, he sought out Lucas and Henson. He's done Fraggle Rock. He's done what was it, Muppets Great Adventure. Uh, he did Dark Crystal. He was all over the place. This guy's got a resume a mile long, and he goes into some of these wonderful, wonderful stories. So I encourage you, Under the Puppet with Mike Quinn. Grant Pachoko's the host, and Grant just launches like one question. I love these interviews because I wish I could do this more. He launches one question, and Mike just goes on for like 10 minutes. It was beautiful, just beautiful.
I've had a couple interviews like that where it's like, oh, you're going to do all the work, and then I had an interview once where it was an improv comic who's gone on to big things. She actually won an Emmy, but I'm like, oh, we got this improv comic on. I can just like. This is going to be an easy interview because we can just kind of give her something to set her up and she'll go off. No, most dry interview ever.
Yeah. That's surprising from someone who's practiced with improv because we were on the Star Trek cruise last year and Mary Chieffo and some of her friends were there and they do an improv club and they participate. They did a quick improv class. I was there and Melissa Bartell was there. We had a blast. It was so fun. They took you through these exercises that they do as improv, and it was fun. I could definitely. I'd love to have more time to go to an improv club and practice some of these things. Wait, were you Fry in the Dragon Con parade? No, I was Farnsworth. Am Farnsworth, I should say. Craig Stepp will be Fry, and we had a second Fry for a while. Kyle Gilstrap was another Fry. So if you saw two Fries there a couple of years ago. But I'm Hubert J. Farnsworth with the Finglonger. Good news! I get a mile and a half in my slippers.
Yeah, Chuck. While we were on the one end of the parade doing the Futurama, Greg was driving the Bluesmobile. So he was like one of the first cars in the parade.
Yeah, that's such an iconic vehicle. It stands out in the parade. So I think we were just a couple of vehicles behind you in the staging area.
Yeah, I was kind of walking back and forth, talking to them, and then coming back to where, but you're always afraid to go too far because then they'll yell at you, like, get in your car. You got to.
We walk right up to where they're coming out of the parking lot. We get to watch the whole parade go by us. Of course, it starts getting warm, so you want to find a shady spot. But yeah, we see the whole parade just kind of launch into the street and go. So we don't, even though we're last, we still see a good chunk of the parade.
Greg says Picard was a dumpster fire. I don't agree with that. I do think it got a little slow in the middle. Good. I thought
it did.
Good opening.
Some of the episodes labored. Yeah. It took a while to get its wheels because, like, by episode 5, we've got the band together. Let's go on this adventure we've been talking about for the last 4 episodes. So, yeah, it felt a little drawn out.
James is asking if we've seen Final Space. If we love Lower Decks, we'll enjoy Final Space. I don't know Final Space.
Have not seen that. I'll have to add that to my list. Greg, I probably met you then. Yes. In fact, I think I have a picture of both of you and your fellow. Were you Jake or Elwood? I apologize. I don't remember which one. But we did have a bit of a disaster with the parade this year. I don't know if you heard the bad news, Joe. JP, Jan Peterson, the parade coordinator, passed away the day before registration was supposed to go live on February 15th.
Oh.
So, yeah, and she was kind of the foundation to the whole parade. She sent out the emails and did the registration. Really, so very sad news. The group has elected a new leader. They said simply, if you signed up in 2020, because we signed up in February 15th, and it only took like 4 hours, and the whole parade was filled up. They're saving those exact same spots, but you have to claim your spot back. Easy thing. They email you a link, and you say, "I want my spots back." I had to go look at how many wristbands did I claim, and I claimed them all back, and we're automatically in the 2021 parade.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
But if you don't sign up by, what was it, May 1st, you can't march. They will give those wristbands away to somebody else. So you have to show interest if you're going to do that. Very much. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to getting to Dragon Con Live. It's going to be a different event, obviously. We'll see more face masks. And free awkward hugs may be a little different this year, like free social distancing hugs. Did you tell them about free awkward hugs?
I think I've mentioned free awkward hugs. Someone said it should be like free awkward shrugs this year or something like.
Oh, free awkward shrug. Because I've seen free shrugs. And like, yeah. But free awkward shrugs, that would be fun. Or free socially distanced hugs. Free awkward socially distanced hugs. We're just going to make it longer every year. You just stand 6 feet apart and air hug awkwardly.
Nick says, howdy ho, Crazy Joe. Howdy ho to you, Nick.
Howdy ho!
James says, favorite Cartoon Network show. His is Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Well, for me, that's easy. It's Teen Titans Go. I love Teen Titans Go.
I was just talking to my daughter about Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I watched a lot of Cartoon Network when my kids were smaller. So this would have been late 90s, early 2000s, getting them up, getting ready for school. And we had this morning ritual, as many parents do. There's a bedtime ritual. There's a morning ritual. Because you can't just expect them to pop out of bed, eat their breakfast, and go to school.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. There's sort of this ramp up time. So I would bring them down a little early and let them watch cartoons for 30 minutes. And we watched, it rotated around. They changed their schedule every few months. Ed, Ed, and Eddie, Powerpuff Girls were in there somewhere. Dexter's Laboratory. What was the one with Secret Squirrel? Secret Squirrel was like the interstitial between two others. It was help me out here, chat room. But that was.
I was gonna say Morocco Mole, but that's Secret Squirrel's sidekick.
That's okay. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So that's. I am a classic cartoon guy. I like Bugs Bunny. I like Tom and Jerry. That's what I grew up with. I can recite Bugs Bunny lines till the cows come home and sing the songs and do that. But I also got into that era of those few shows.
I remember this. You know how I know that? Because when we were doing Star Trek trivia.
Thank you, James. Two stupid dogs.
When we were doing Star Trek trivia at Dragon Con, there was a question about I Am Weasel, and you were like the only one in the room that knew the answer.
There may or may not have been alcohol involved.
Oh, I gotta tell that story. I gotta tell the Geordie story. So we're doing Star Trek trivia. Chuck's had a few drinks at this point.
I've got a flask of Fireball in my bag.
But they're showing clips from Star Trek episodes and Star Trek movies and then asking trivia questions based on the clip you just saw. And they showed a clip it was the episode where the Romulans had brainwashed Geordie and he was acting kind of weird. And they show a clip of Geordie doing something bizarre from that episode. And
he holds up a phaser and he's about to shoot, was it Picard or Riker or somebody?
Yeah.
And they freeze the frame right there.
And they said, What's wrong with Geordie? And you yelled from the back of the room,
he's blind! The funniest thing was, I don't remember those words coming out of my mouth. I thought them. Of course, alcohol has no filter. And about 0.5 seconds later, the room busts out laughing. I'm thinking, what are they laughing at? Did I miss something? Oh shoot, I said that.
If I remember correctly, you got a prize too, because the guy said technically that's not wrong.
Yeah, it's technically not wrong, but he gave me a little badge because whoever had the most badges at the end won. And he said, all right, Michael Dorn lended his voice to this cartoon character. And I raised my hand, and he even prefaced the whole contest before we even started this trivia game. He says, there's always one guy that's going to know that really odd random fact. And when he said Michael Dorn gave his voice, I went, I am Weasel. and he's like, that was just scary how fast you answered that. And he said, what was the co-character or the sidekick? And I went, please. I are baboon. He's like, you're that guy.
Gloop Trekker just came in with another thing that's wrong with Geordie. He can't get a date.
Oh, too soon. Christie's still an open wound.
Uh,
Just like it's like Harry Kim can't get a promotion.
let's see. James says I really like Ginger Wild Thornberries. Those are different shows. Ginger, Wild Thornberries, Rocket Power, and Stress Derek. I know Wild Thornberries, but that's the only one of those shows I know. Gotta say. So, oh boy.
Favorite Klasky Supo animated series, guys? Well, The Simpsons is my favorite cartoon of all time. My favorite Klasky Supo animated show is Real Monsters and Duckman. It took me a while to warm up to Real Monsters. I don't know if this is a Klasky Supo, but Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends kind of grew on me too. They were so bizarre in the characters that I just went, this is great stuff. I mean, it was all in the writing and the storytelling for that stuff. Because when you watch Real Monsters at first, like, this is really strange. I mean, I thought, you know, I thought I've seen some bizarre cartoons before, but it really started to grow on me.
I'm starting to really enjoy the cartoons that Kira's into now. She loves a cartoon on Netflix called Zig and Sharko, and it's about a shark that's in love with a mermaid, but the mermaid a hyena keeps trying to eat her. So Zig is the hyena, and he's trying to eat the mermaid, and the shark keeps trying to protect her, and it's all silent. Like it's done like almost like a Pink Panther or a Tom and Jerry, where there's just no
Oh,
dialogue.
do you remember any lines? Yeah, when kids are little, they're sponges. They suck all this stuff up, and then they throw it back. I just talking to my daughter, who's now 25. She's in our guest house with her husband. Love having them close by, and every once in a while she'll wander over here, and we'll start doing old lines from Two Stupid Dogs or Powerpuff Girls. And she nails them. She's like, "No, Dad, that's not how that goes." I'm like, "Oh, I've turned into that. I'm close, aren't I?" No.
That's us with the Star Trek dialogue, probably. uh,
My brain is full.
yeah, well, that's what Christine always says to me. How come you can't remember? I can't remember anything. I can't remember anything. And she's like, "Why don't you remember anything?" And then I'll watch a 30-year-old episode of like The Facts of Life or Silver
Yep.
Spoons, something that I haven't seen since it originally aired like on NBC back in like 1983, and I'll remember every line of dialogue. And I'll be like, "Well, this is why I don't remember anything. I filled my brain up 30 years ago. There's no room left."
Well, I think that the brain has plasticity and it wears off after time. So you were making all those connections because I do the same thing. Like I said, when I do karaoke, is how on earth am I remembering the words to songs 30 plus years ago? Hundreds of them, not dozens, hundreds of songs, and they just come back like that. I was randomly going through some playlist and I came up against Jay Giles from the Freeze Frame album, a song called Insane, Insane Again. And they get to that part where they just rattle off words like chicken food, soup, nerve food, solitude, backtrack, meat rack, cardiac, yak, yak, breathing room. No, 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 I need some breathing room. Like, what cobweb just got on my brain and uncovered this encyclopedia of crazy words? I literally put the iPad down and walked away.
I'll do that to Christine in the car. Like we'll be riding in the car, and I'll just start putting on like old '90s songs, and it's almost like a game. The game is to see if I can make her sing along. And she's always like, "How do I remember this?"
Yeah, but your kids will surprise you at some point. They'll just come up with these random lines. You go, "Don't you remember, Dad? That was from the movie." Blah blah. I'm like, okay.
Oh, Kira has an insane memory because she remembers things that I don't want her to remember. Like she remembers things where I'm like, "Oh my God, why do you remember that? Please, to forget that happened."
They remember the things you don't want them to remember either.
Oh, absolutely. There was an incident on the beach where she was like 2 years old, and she she needed to pee, and we were having trouble getting her to like to pee on the beach. Like and she brings that up. She's like, I remember when we were on the beach and I couldn't pee. And I'm like, how? That was 3 years ago. You were 2. Why does that event stick out in your mind?
Yeah. That'll wear off after a while because I honestly can't remember anything before I was 5. But the Joe, I don't think we mentioned how we met. Do you remember?
Oh, in person, it was at Dragon Con. But I mean, we've known each other through podcasting for years.
Yeah, and I think we were on. You were actually in this house probably before I was.
Yes. Yes, I was in Chuck's house before Chuck was in Chuck's house. That's not a joke.
At least it's well before I owned this house.
Yeah.
I was on an episode of Slice like in '06 or '07, one of those years. But for the listeners / viewers that don't know, I bought the house from Michael R. Meningay, who did many podcasts over the years, including Slice of Sci-Fi, Winging It, Dragon Page Cover to Cover, and then produced or co-produced many others. So this room has a legacy of podcast history in it. And this past winter, it broke my heart, but out of necessity, I had to redecorate part of it. Michael, I think it was 2009 or 2010, redid 2 bedrooms into one big studio. And there was a peninsula for the guests with webcams and microphones.
The green screen wall.
We haven't had guests in a year, and my job is a content creator. I am making videos and podcasts and writing books for my day job. And I needed more of a studio area because my green screen, which used to hang right behind where I'm sitting, was not deep enough to get the proper lighting. I couldn't really get what I needed out of it. So I had to take that peninsula out and made it a big open area. So it's all been redecorated. That was my winter project. And it's turned out wonderfully. We're about to do our recordings for our upcoming conference in that spot. And frankly, it's on par with our professional studio in Santa Clara and San Diego. So, I mean, I've got the light bars up there with LED panels and a nice Sony camera with a big honking lens on it and quality tripod. It's a far upgrade from the $40 webcam that I was using, which ain't bad, but it was nice to have work kick in a little money for the camera and the lighting. Well, amazingly, a lot of the equipment got reproduced. There are monitors on the wall exactly where they are. And funny enough, I was able to repaint one of the pieces of artwork that Mr. Meningay left behind and brand it according to our company color standards. And people look at it and go, where'd you get that? That's awesome. It looks like our PowerPoint. It's like, okay, I got it. The standing joke around here is it came with the house because this was the most unconventional house deal ever conceived. I was here in June of 2013 on family vacation. Later that year, Michael, I kind of jokingly said to him, hey, if you don't sell the house by June, let me know because my daughter's going off to college. And he called me about a month later and said, you still interested in the house? Ooh, it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek comment, but texted my wife. And I said, you want to buy Mike and Lori's house? She said, sure. And we started looking at taxes and gas prices and all that stuff, that you usually do when you're interested in moving to a new area. But we couldn't get out here right away. He said, I have to sell it by January 1st, 2014. I said, no, my daughter's halfway through her senior year in high school. That's not going to work. So we ended up buying the house in December from him. So he got his capital and then he rented it back to us while he looked for another house. So he got to stay here for an extra 6-7 months. We didn't come out until September. So there were a couple of months where it was basically unoccupied, but he'd stop by once a week and throw shock in the pool and do that kind of thing to keep it up. Well, I came out here in July for the pool party, June for the pool party, whatever. He had this pool party. And we started walking around. He said, you want the China hutch? I said, are you taking the China hutch? No. I said, fine, put a Post-it note on it and leave it. So whatever had a Post-it note on it got left behind. So China hutch, liquor cabinet, dining room table, studio with the mixer and computers and everything. A whole bunch of stuff was left behind. And then we realized when Ben Rangaton and Keith Lane came over from tggeeks.com, and we'll give them the obligatory bell. When they came over, They walked into they opened up the pantry closet and grabbed these insulated cups. They go, "Oh, good, our cups are still here." No idea they were there. Those came with the house. Ben and Keith came with the house. Jeff Mangan came with the house. So a whole bunch of friends came with the Tim Adamek and Brian Brown. They've all appeared on Technorama, sitting in their comfortable chairs. With Ben looked at me and goes, "Is that my pillow?" He left behind a pillow so the chair was more comfortable. Like, yeah. But the funniest part was a couple months after we had moved in and put the pictures on the wall and whatnot, Mike comes in the front door, which is weird going into your old house, not through the garage or the usual way that you go in through the house. Comes in through the front door and he goes, "Wow, this really looks like your place now." I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? Even the decorations on the shelves next to the TV were his. I mean, I don't know what he was looking at that made him jump out and say, "This is not my house anymore." We didn't paint. We didn't decorate. We put some pictures on the wall and the furniture in the living room changed. That was it. That's pretty much it. So I laughed pretty hard at that.
That's pretty good. And we should point out to the chat too. You didn't just when you moved in, that was a big move. You came from Wisconsin to Phoenix. So
we came from Wisconsin. Yeah, my wife and I were both born in Michigan. We were raised in Michigan. We raised our family in Wisconsin. And we had been vacationing around, as you often do when you travel to different areas. We had a vacation in California. I go, "Hey, when we get old and gray, do you want to move here? Florida, you want to move here?" We did this in North Carolina and Wyoming. We would kind of ask each other, "Is this the place we want to retire?" And when we got to Phoenix, we got here because someone wanted to sell us a timeshare, which we inadvertently bought. And we vacationed here a number of times. And every time we came out, we said, this is feeling a little more like it. Now, my wife doesn't remember this story, but I somehow recall saying, this is where we want to retire. We don't know when, we don't know how, but the time frame was kind of made for us when Mike wanted to sell the house. We knew the house. We'd seen it a few months before. And he's the kind of guy that did a lot of elbow grease on the interior of the house. New bathroom, new kitchen, the bedroom's all redecorated. So he did a great job adding value to the house. I'm more of an outdoor kind of guy. I'll take care of the cactus.
The Greg is saying that he talked to the owner of the Blues car, which is in the Dragon Con parade, the guy who dresses as Mr. Six Flags on the tricycle.
Yes, he always stole the attention from us when we dressed as Men in Black, and he was right behind us because everybody's going, "Yay!" And we think they're cheering for us, and we realize, oh, Mr. Six is right behind us. Anyway,
but he owns the Bluesmobile. That's his car.
No,
so
what connection?
So he likes to be Mr. Six, so he can't drive his own car. So Greg confirmed that they are driving the car again this year. It is in. He's confirmed that they're in. Guy's name's Jeff. Great guy. And Greg also mentioned something about Slash Film posted their top 10 Saturday morning cartoons of all time.
Really?
What was he says the list was whack. What was number one, Greg?
Yeah, let us know.
And,
send us a link or something. I'm curious.
Ethan Edwards says, "Wow, very professional looking tonight." Well, that means you came in late, Ethan. Because the beginning...
It was a bit of a rocky start.
Sean says, "Did you hear about the chair? You better sit down." By the way, Gary, I'm going to be very disappointed if you don't have a stream-ending joke for us tonight. I'm going right from this stream. This stream, we got to end in 5 minutes, because in 5 minutes, I got to be on Gary's stream. Gary, Mr. Obelisk Radio, has asked me to join him tonight on his stream,
nice.
where we are going to be discussing Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez's 2007 double feature Grindhouse, which I got my Blu-ray right here. So he asked me to...
Look at that. He's ready.
Yeah.
We got Technorama and the topic is Trek at some point, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's you take it away. Everyone, you got to find Chuck. He does two podcasts. If you're a Star Trek fan, you got to be listening to The Topic is Trek. And tell us about Technorama.
Technorama, I like to call it the great petri dish of podcasting. We try anything and everything. It's basically a nerd news and humor show. Uh, we realized when we created the show in 2005 that the Microsoft and Google and Apple news was already being covered very well by other people. Because I wanted to kind of make a news podcast, but it really didn't end up as that. We just started finding things that were on the cutting room floor. We do occasional interviews with notable people. We talked to Adam Savage from the Mythbusters and Dr. Robert Ballard, the man who discovered the Titanic. So we've had some fun over the years talking to interesting people. But every week, Craig Stepp and I, we jot down some show notes. We have a short segment called On This Day in History. And for basically an hour, we just chew the fat around these topics. So we'll read a news story about, hey, the latest rover on Mars has landed and it's sent the audio clip. What do you think of that? And talk for a few minutes on that. And then we'll go on to the next story. So it's we got 635, 36 episodes. We've been going for a while. But a lot of the experimentation we do there bleeds into other productions at work, and then things I learn at work and come back to that. So it's not making us millions of dollars, but it's been a good loyal friend for coming up on 16 years.
It's got to be one of the longest running podcasts around because
Pretty
podcasts
close.
don't last that long anymore.
Normally they don't. People discover podcasting is kind of hard.
Yeah. Oh, I always say YouTube's much easier than podcasting. Which you wouldn't believe if you
Deep,
watch the first 10 minutes of this, but
it depends. It depends. It kind of depends on what you're out to build. I do many of my work productions via YouTube on our work channel, and those have demos behind them that need to be practiced or software features that need to be researched because I'm a content creator and a software developer, so I'm showing other developers how they can be more productive. It's like, hey, have you discovered what did we do this morning? The new Glide Query API. Let's take a look at that and how it differs from the old Glide Record API and Glide Aggregate and how you can get these things to work together and be more effective and reduce errors and be a better programmer. So it was that didn't just it's I've tried YouTube for work productions where you just turn on the stream and start talking. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. So I found the more planning I put into making a production, the more long-lived value. And people reference, they go, I'm looking for that video on Flow Designer. I got the link for you right here. And they get an hour's worth of Flow Designer content. So it's more shows than just open chat like this. I mean, there's totally nothing wrong with having a friendly chin wag with your friends.
we got to end in a minute. But let me just say, Greg is saying that the number one, according to Slash Film, the number one Saturday morning cartoon is Muppet Babies. I don't think I'd agree with that.
I contest that.
Animaniacs is 11. Fat Albert is 18. The Smurfs is 19.
Can Chuck write a live stream program to replace OBS/Skype? I've never streamed out of Skype, but I have. I tend to use Wirecast. Another thing that kind of came with the studio, and then I sort of upgraded it a dozen times or so since then. But I've used OBS. I've used Wirecast. They're respectable apps.
See, I wish I lived closer to you, Chuck, because I would love to. I mean, obviously, not now because of the whole, Corona. But like once we're out of this, I would love to just come and watch you and see like how you set things up and how you do things because you know, you're obviously much more tech savvy than I am, and I have your book, and I I can't even get some of it. So
A lot of stuff that's not in the book. We'll have that talk another time. But Joe, it has been fun. Let's do this again.
yeah, absolutely, it's good talking to you. It's been too long though. I do watch you sing karaoke every Saturday. So
You can find out more information about me at chucktomasi.com, TOMASI.
absolutely, and if you listen to podcasts, go subscribe to Technorama, and if you like Star Trek, subscribe to The Topic is Trek. If you don't like Star Trek, that's not the podcast for you.
I was like, you could just leave that one hanging right there. I know you got to get on the other
All right.
stream real quick. So
Thanks for
thanks. Man.
yeah, thanks for joining me, Chuck. I appreciate it, and thanks for everyone for watching. And keep wearing those pajamas. And damn you, Grover Cleveland.
Bugs Bunny number 8. What?